old school. So here we go.
All right.
And welcome to Carnival Cruising Podcastaways, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything carnival cruising related. My name is Trevor Shelby, and joining me on this crazy cruising adventure are my good friends Thomas, Kennedy, Jennifer, Raul, and Gary Manning. So
hello, everybody.
Welcome.
A little throwback.
Yeah, I didn't prepare anything, and
it was kind of a shock you came back today.
I did
all those bad things you said about.
I'm just gonna say something here, and I'm just hang on just a minute. Hang on, we're gonna. Oh, here we go.
Whoa.
These are the controls that I have of this podcast. I just want to point that if you're on Spotify right now, you can see what I've done. And I'm just.
But we still have voices. We still have voices.
You still have voices. You do. Let me.
So you can't do anything about that. You can't take our voices from us. We'll always.
I can't do that.
So, holy cow! Look away, man.
So I'm just saying that you guys, you know that I would never leave this show. I am here until it dies. So you're stuck with me. Anyways, let's bring them back. Oh, I better put your videos back on. Be very nice of me.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, no, I'm just I kept thinking, like, as I was editing the last episode, I kept thinking, but they'll mention like Trevor's sick and we were thinking about him. Not once.
Never, man.
No, we just said you left the show permanently.
I felt like crap that day.
Wasn't no pinkies up, it was the double middle fingers up, man. It was like out.
Well, I missed it, and I wouldn't miss this episode. You know why?
Why is that, Trevor?
We've got special guests for this episode.
Do tell.
Well, you're the one that set it up, Gary. So,
you know what? That's true. Let me go real quick. I got to remember. I forgot to do this, and I wanted to check because I have a title here with Carnival Cruising Podcastaways, and I changed my cover video whenever my dog passed away. I believe I'm something of the effect of I'm the talent acquisition manager. I believe.
Yes, that's what you are.
Yeah, and I was threatened because I had not been bringing any talent on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided that, well, if I need to bring some talent, I should bring some mega talent. I mean, you've got Carnival, and Carnival has those Excel ships. You've got Royal Caribbean, and they have their Oasis class, Icon of the Seas, the largest ship, and now Utopia of the Seas, the largest ship, So I figured, why not bring somebody on this show that is larger than life? And by larger than life, I don't mean large and fat like me. I'm talking about somebody who has a presence on the internet, somebody who has a presence on YouTube, somebody who has a presence on Instagram, someone who has a presence on Facebook. I mean, a presence everywhere, even with cruise ships. What is so funny?
It's getting kind of deep in here, man. This entire
I'm telling you guys.
Oh my God.
Hey, this intro, they deserve this intro. And so with no further ado, I want to introduce you guys to a Rich and Jazzy Life. Rich and Jazz, welcome to the show. And so here we are with them. They are a Rich and Jazzy Life on YouTube. I've known them for a few years now. I had the opportunity to sail with them one time on the Sunshine over New Year's Eve, and it was just an absolute just time to be had. Let's just say that. So they're great people. We're going to let you guys learn a little bit about them and everything that they have to offer for cruising. So Rich and Jess, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having us. We're excited
Thank
to
you.
be here. We love doing these types of interview things. So when anyone asks us to do it, we're like, sure. So thank you for having us here.
Oh, no
Awesome.
problem.
So yes. So I mean, y'all got a little small YouTube channel, right? I mean, you know, just kind of.
It's only a couple 100,000.
We still consider
Right.
ourselves a small channel.
Mhm.
We still do.
Right.
And I know, like, to people that are smaller than us, it's a slap in the face. I get it. But for us, in our mindset, we are still small and nowhere where we feel like we want to be.
Our mindset hasn't changed since
Yeah.
whatever number to what it is now. The way we work, the way we do things, the way we feel about our channel, how further we have to grow is exactly the same as it was 7-8 years ago.
Mhm.
And so speaking of your channel, what got you started in that? What encouraged you to start a YouTube channel?
So we are originally from New York City. Well, Richard is from Trinidad, but he grew up in New York City. We went to school together and we started dating when I was in college. After I graduated from grad school, he's just like, okay, we can't live here forever, like in New York City. There's no way that we're going to start a family, buy a house in New York City. Like, it's just a losing game. So I was just like, well, what you mean? Like, especially a girl that's born and raised in New York. Like, what you mean we leaving New York? Like, so then where you gonna go? He's like, let's move to Atlanta. I said, Georgia? Like, you want me to move to the South? And he's
And
like,
she only came here one time,
Yeah.
and it was not in Atlanta. It was like south of Atlanta. So even that made it even a harder sale because she only saw what she saw then, which wasn't a lot.
oh my gosh, it was nothing. And I was like, that's where you want me to leave my family to go there? He's like, well, no. We'll go and we'll visit different areas of Atlanta and see which one we like the most. So long story short, we visited different areas in Atlanta. We found Sandy Springs to be the area that we really liked. We moved there. And as soon as we moved there, Richard always coming up with bright ideas. So next thing, all right, I agreed. I moved there. Now he's like, let's start a YouTube channel. I said, start a YouTube channel. Why would I do that? He's like, well, we should start a YouTube channel because on Instagram and Facebook, we already was traveling. We were already doing like date nights and stuff like that. And our family and friends on Facebook and Instagram used to eat it up. They always wanted to see what we were doing. So he's like, so
We
why don't
always
we
did like the matching outfits
Yeah.
and all of it. We've been doing that forever. So when
Mhm.
people are like, oh my God, the whole family matches, that's so nice. You do that because of the kids. We're like, no, we don't do this because of the kids. We were
Yeah.
already doing this.
We've already did that. Like, we used to do we used to just do couple matching baby suits and everything. So when I got pregnant with Rain, which was 2 months after I moved to Atlanta, I've already like hit okay, I just moved to a different state. I left all my friends and family, and now I'm pregnant. Like, now I'm pregnant. I had just started my teaching job. So it was just everything.
world
the whole
turned
world
upside down
immediately.
fast.
So then here he comes talking about, now let's record it. Let's make videos. So I'm just like, okay, well, we'll make videos. So we just started off essentially showing the whole intention of it was to show our family and friends back in New York what we are doing here in Atlanta. So
Make it easy. This way, we make a video. They see what we're doing. They see how the kids are. They see how the kids are growing. Make it easy for everyone.
And also because when we were dating, we always said, hey, I agreed to do home videos. I always wanted to get a camcorder and record ourselves in the house because I had showed him some videos of myself when I was like, my mom got a camcorder when I was around 10. So that was like the perfect thing. Like, okay, well, let's record our kids. But I didn't know who's going to do a YouTube. He's like, well, instead of doing home videos, let's do something where we can show the world. I'm like, okay. So we just started the YouTube and it took off from there. And then we noticed that every time we went on a cruise, more people gravitated towards us traveling. So then we started to niche down into doing cruising, and that's how we got into cruising.
I was going to ask, since we're on the topic with YouTube, we have a lot of people that that do a lot of YouTube videos and everything that actually watch the show. And what is some struggles that you guys had building your channel and maybe kind of overcoming some of that?
I think one of the hardest parts in the beginning is getting over when you first start making the videos, you're only going to have friends and family that watch. I always say to people when they're starting a channel, your second video is going to do absolutely horrible because the first video, all your friends and family are going to be so nosy that they want to see exactly what's going on. And once they get that little dose of it, the next one, they're going to say, well, that sucked, so I'm not going to watch the next one. And they don't. And you see this on a lot of channels. So you have to have it in you now to be recording for a reason that makes you want to keep recording and make you keep editing. And for us, because it was our family memories of our firstborn child, it was kind of easy because we just kept recording the family memories and not too much worried about the performance on it. So that's one thing. And then there's another hurdle you got to get over, which is when you start to break out of the friends and family zone and you're getting into strangers coming in, depending on the type of content you're making. And we were making content as new parents, first child, everyone is an expert and everyone has advice and they never stop giving you advice. And you just want to be in the comments telling people all kinds of stuff. And we did. We used to curse them out all the time.
Yeah, we used to fight
because
curse people out. It's just bad.
People are crazy. Like, not only would they tell you what their advice, but some of the comments were like just crazy. So once you get out of that zone, and what happened for us is we had a video that went viral, and that's where we really developed our thick skin, because the comments that came across, it was like thousands of comments that were really disgusting. So we had to grow thick skin fast, and that's a really, really hard part of YouTube that everyone has to eventually learn to get that thick skin and get used to those negative comments.
You definitely have to build your confidence, truly. If you are someone that is very sensitive, it may not be the place for you, because people are going to come for you. They are going to come for you really bad.
Yeah. And that's one thing that I do admire about you guys is, I mean, like you said earlier, Rich, you guys started a channel. I joked about you being small, but you do still have that small mentality. You still are doing the same thing we're doing, or what you were, and you keep that same mentality and keep that same focus. But I do know that there have been other things that have grown out of your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Can y'all talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So from us doing YouTube, well, besides us creating the amazing memories and of course being noticed, one of the amazing things is being noticed by Disney Corporation, like Disney, the company. They invited us onto, at this point, 3 cruises. They've hosted us on 3 cruises, and some of the most amazing ones. Like we went on the christening of the Disney Wish, and that's like such a big deal because they didn't come out with the ship in years, and for them to notice our channel, like they literally came out of nowhere and invited us onto their ship. So like things like that is just like, wow, we are doing something right. Like it's noticing us, and they're sending our girls like back to school boxes of book bags and pens and pencils, and it really is amazing. Because when I was a little girl, I couldn't imagine Disney knowing my address and sending me book bags and saying, have a great school year. So that is, one of the most amazing things that came out of this, to be recognized by such like, who doesn't know what Disney is? So to be recognized by them, that is definitely one of the biggest accomplishments. But our third baby is Melanin at Sea. Melanin at Sea is a Facebook group. Thank you. Thank you for rocking. We would like to say it's our third baby. We developed Melanin at Sea in 2020. It's a Facebook group mainly for people of color or people who support people of color that like to travel. Mainly not mainly cruises, only cruises. We only focus on cruising and Melanin at Sea, hence the name. And we just basically started it because we were like, well, let's make something that, because cruising was doing so well on our channel, he's like, well, let's make like a community where people could share their experiences on cruising and give tips and advice. So like during the pandemic, we were just thinking of things. And then we came up with the name Melanin at Sea. He was like, oh, that's catchy. That's cute. People like that. And so we started as a Facebook group. And I remember when the Facebook group only had like 200 people.
It was only our friends and family.
Yeah, our friends and family. And we would just talk about cruising. And then more people started to share. And then we started making t-shirts, and we would wear them on the cruises. And then people would ask, oh, can we buy a t-shirt? Can we buy a t-shirt? And would just grow more and more. And it grew so much with over the past 4 years that it has 104,000 people in the group. He has the original. Yes, that's the OG shirt. Yes, that's our first shirt that we came out with. That's our untrademarked one. And then it got so big that people started copying that shirt, and they would sell them on
we
like
had to
Amazon.
Get a copyright
we
and
had
a trademark.
To get a copyright, trademarked, and everything, the image, the name, because we didn't think that it would grow so much that people would steal our stuff, and then people was making their own Etsy's and
started selling it on Amazon stores like crazy.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I can remember when I first found it on Amazon.
Right. That was a
Yeah.
sign to us that this is something big. This is something that the people want. So we started doing group cruises, which we just completed our fifth group cruise. And it was amazing. We just came back from Alaska on Celebrity Edge with 150 people in Melanin at Sea. And it's just been a real blessing, Melanin at Sea. Really, it was a blessing in disguise.
Got you. Now, you say 150 on the Alaska cruise, but I know for a fact that that's light, right? I know
It's our smallest group
Yeah,
cruise
that was our
gonna
smallest
say,
group
had.
cruise.
y'all don't represent like that. I know better because I've seen the pictures. I was honestly right. I was supposed to be on one of them, and then
Yeah.
Carnival wanted to delay the
The Jubilee.
the Jubilee.
Yep.
Jubilee,
Yeah.
and but so y'all ended up doing one. And so that's the thing, and that's what I was telling the guys and Jen, but Jen's considered one of the guys, but that Jen looks. But no, I was telling them, you guys have done Carnival, you've done MSC, you've done Virgin, you've done Celebrity, you've done all of these different cruise lines for your cruise group, and then you've cruised with Disney, like you said. So out of all of those cruise lines, which one is your favorite? And remember, um, no, I'm just
Yeah.
Don't mess
kidding.
this
I'm
up.
just kidding.
It's very
I'm just
hard.
kidding. I'm just
We
kidding.
get
I'm just
no,
kidding.
it's okay because
we
we
want
get
you to be
asked
real.
this like every week. We get
Yeah.
asked this all
What's your
the
favorite
time.
cruise?
What's your favorite cruise? What's your
Yeah.
favorite cruise line? And I can honestly say I do not have a number one favorite. I have a number one favorite for who I'm going with and why I'm going there. So if it's just me and Richard and we trying to get away from the kids and do some grown and sexy, it's Virgin. Hands down.
Yeah,
No
I
other
don't want
kids.
I don't want to
it's
see no
every-
kids. Like
Yeah.
if I'm going without my kids, I don't want to see I don't want to see other kids having a good time because then I'm gonna be like, oh, Rain and Royce would have really loved that.
They would have loved
tonight.
this.
Oh, they would have loved that show. Oh, face painting too. Like
You know,
all of that.
The parent guilt. That's what that
Parent
is.
guilt.
Yeah,
Absolutely. We actually did do our first cruise ever since having kids on a cruise line that allows kids. We did a Royal
Yeah.
Caribbean. What was that? Freedom.
Yeah, and
Freedom of
it
the
was some
seas.
parent guilt there.
It was some parent guilt there, but it wasn't as bad as we thought.
Yeah.
But Virgin would have to be number one. Now, if I'm taking my kids and I'm wanting to splurge, Disney is going to be the next.
That's the one.
Like,
Right.
like a 7 day, I always tell people a 7-day Disney cruise just hits different than a 3 or 4 night. I mean, Mickey and Minnie pulled out all the stops. Okay. Mickey and Minnie walks around with a tuxedo and a ball gown on. Okay. It is full on a beautiful experience. We did 2 7-day Disney cruises and those were absolutely amazing. But for a price budget, like something that's affordable, and we're going to have a good time. The kids are going to love the kids camp. A Carnival cruise is where it's at. But then after I went on Icon of the Seas, I said, this is the most amazing ship I've ever been on the world. So then you go on Icon of the Seas, you're just like, there is just almost too much stuff to do. You
The
can't
actual
even
ship
Yeah.
is the best at sea,
Mhm.
but then the price point doesn't meet everyone's needs. So you got to
Right.
find, it depends again who you're going with, when you're going with, why are you going, and that's how you'll choose the right ship for the right situation.
Right. And then people sleep on MSC. MSC has Rain and Royce still stays to this day. But besides Disney, MSC has the best kids camp.
Yeah.
They take the kids out, they take them to shows, they take them to activities. They're not just sitting in a room for hours. Like they do things with the kids.
And they've got some of the most beautiful ships at sea. They
Yeah.
also probably got the worst customer service at sea, but you got to find that balance.
Yeah.
100. Yeah, I will say, I've cruised MSC and I've told the guys that they know that here. We mentioned it on the show. And that's my biggest complaint that I had with MSC, which of course it was the very first cruise right after the pandemic, after the stop. And it was straight out the gate, like August the 21st or something like that. I mean,
that's early.
First cruise out of Miami. And it was like, it was, we knew we had to pack our patience, but it was tough. It was tough. But anyways, enough about that. So I know, Trevor, you had a question that you wanted to.
First of all, have you been to Alaska before? Was this?
No, this is our very first time
That
doing
was your first-
Alaska.
Yeah, I've done it. This was my first year doing it as well. And so based upon your previous cruises, destinations, places you've been to, where do you kind of rank Alaska versus Caribbean or elsewhere?
I really think it was completely different from anything we've ever done. And we were a little bit worried. We hear people say like it's life-changing and all these things. So when people start saying that, you have to worry that people are really just gassing it and getting caught up in that whole thing. Hold on one sec.
Okay.
So
You can tell them I said, hey, I don't know if they remember me or not, but tell them Patricia and I said hi, obviously.
Yes, I'll let
So-
them know. They're up there
when
fighting
they
over
finish
something.
fighting, we'll tell. so it so we were worried about the hype. We were worried about people hyping it up too much.
Yeah.
And the first day was a day at sea. And of course, the first day at sea, you know, you're leaving Seattle, you're not gonna see anything that cold, right? So the first day we're like, okay.
It was hot.
And then the
It was
second day we're
80
like, all right.
degrees.
But when it was that day to wake up early, and I mean, like, we woke up at 6:30 in the morning and walked outside, and we actually saw ice, and we were like,
Yeah. We had to put a hat on.
"This is
zip it up our
crazy!"
coats. We were like, wow, this is cool.
And then, you know, we did excursions that were so different from what we normally do, like going into doing a little bit of hiking, doing a little bit of walking in the woods. We don't do stuff like that. We just go, we're all about cabana life. We're all about, you know, cocktails on the beach. That's us.
Yeah.
And so for us to do stuff like this, we were like, this is a lot for us. We got to wear boots. Like, this is
We had
crazy.
ponchos on. We made Melanin and sea ponchos for all the guests that went on the ship. We had ponchos. We had hats on, rain boots. Like, definitely something different. But I
So
really
different.
liked it.
But we really, really liked it.
I
Oh,
did.
come on. I got friends who live in Alaska and they're wearing bikinis and stuff.
Yeah, we're not about that life.
You know why? You know what? Everyone was like, it's so, like, when we went to, what was the first stop? Skagway?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, catch again.
Ketchikan. That's real. Ketchikan. And they were like, this is not normal for us. I
Mhm.
mean, I got off the ship with a coat and everything on, and I wound up taking everything off because it was like 70 something degrees. And it was just a really beautiful day.
That's wonderful. Travel wise, do you guys have any future plans of anything going on or any big things happening?
So what we pulled the trigger on is nothing yet. We are right now in this stage of like, we're like probably hours away from putting a deposit on something.
Yeah.
Because we just got off the group cruise, the demand is there right now for the next group cruises, and we have nothing announced for 25 or 26. We've been narrowing things down, so we're in like our final stage. That's actually what we've been doing all day today, looking at all our options, looking at price, and we, you know, all the things that go into it.
Yeah.
So group trip wise, we're looking to make some announcements hopefully in the next week or two. And as for our own personal travel, we're hoping, so what we try to do every year is a bucket list trip, we say,
Mhm.
something completely different from anything we've ever done as a family. And we're really feeling like Asia is looking like what we want to do next year, but we're
Yeah.
trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
So, but we're thinking that's at the top of our list for next year is to do something Asia with the girls.
Yeah, because last year we took them to Greece and Italy. We did a Disney Dream. And this year we did the Alaskan cruise, which just so happens to be a group cruise. And next year, Asia's looking like the place to
Yeah.
go.
Which wouldn't be a
So,
group trip, we
we'll
don't
see.
think.
No.
It'll be something that we do, you know,
Just
for our
us
personal
four.
travel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Real quick, I want to come back and circle back around to cruising and different cruise lines. Do you have a favorite cruise ship?
Man,
That
you
you
keep
sail.
taking all my questions.
Oh well, Tom. I'm sorry. Hold on. No, here. We'll mark that. We'll edit that. All right. We'll edit
You
that.
took the cruise line, now you take the ship. Wow.
Leave something for someone else, Gary.
Man, listen, man. I'm sorry. I'm so honored to have you guys here and talk to you and just visit with you, man. I just want to keep picking your brain. But go ahead, Tom.
Hold on. I gotta. Okay.
There we go.
So we know that the Icon is up there, but what's your favorite ship that you guys have been on?
Besides the Icon?
Yeah, because I know that if I didn't like lead with that, you would say the Icon.
Yes,
You
I
would
would
be correct.
You'll be correct. The Icon would be number one. Let's say Icon did not come out and I've never been on it.
Mm.
I would say my favorite ship would be Disney Wish.
I knew you were going to say Disney.
Disney Wish.
Yeah.
Disney Wish would have to be my
I knew
favorite
it.
ship.
I knew it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, what
That's
would
the
be
one.
yours? Don't say Disney Wish.
If I can't choose those two, then this is a ship that for some reason gets a lot of hate, but I absolutely love. It was the Norwegian Prima.
Oh, I didn't think you
I
were going
love
to say
that
that.
ship. It's a great ship.
He really liked it. Yeah, he did.
Good ship, good shows, lot to do.
Yeah.
Just not perfect for little kids, but what a great ship.
If I can I throw out another one?
Yeah.
A bonus.
Hey,
A
yeah.
bonus? It'll be Carnival Mardi Gras.
I was gonna say, just remember, no,
Yeah, it would be
Yeah.
Carnival Mardi Gras. Carnival Mardi Gras.
No,
It
I'm
has
just
some
kidding.
good things on that ship. It does.
Mhm.
I really like what Carnival did
Yeah.
with the XL class.
XL
ship.
class is on point.
I just wish that Carnival would make their ships bigger because they got the money. Clearly, they're a huge
Have you
corporation.
guys
Oh, it's
have you
coming.
heard the news?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
heard they're
I
going up
saw
to
that.
8,000 passengers on their
Yeah.
next big
Yeah.
one.
So we'll see. When is that? 2029.
Yeah, it's not going to be
Yeah.
Carnival XL. It's going to
Let's
be
revisit this in 2029, guys.
the double XL.
Yeah.
That's what we said earlier, but in our
Yeah.
pre-production, we called them
Yeah.
double XL.
Yeah, it's got to be the double XL.
Terrible.
2X.
That's
Oh,
funny.
that's too funny.
So,
So you're one of those that's the bigger the better kind of thing.
You know what? I'm not one of bigger about it because I do like the Prima, and a Prima is not a large ship. I do
Oh,
agree
okay.
with Richard on the Prima. Prima is a great ship. People don't like the layout of it, but I don't think bigger is better. I wish that cruise lines would make ships that are midship size that can go to smaller ports like Jacksonville, Florida, or Baltimore, or stuff like
come
that.
with it. Yep.
That can go under bridges, but
Mhm.
make new ships that's better. Like give rid of all these little old rinky-dink
Yeah.
ships and make better ships that's smaller. They should do that.
Mhm.
Yeah, because like Carnival's smaller ships are about to age out.
Yeah.
They are about to.
They show their age for sure.
And that's the thing. We
Yeah.
go on all of the ships. Like, I was just looking to try to book the Elation from Jacksonville. Like I
Mhm.
go on the oldest to the newest. I don't discriminate again, as long as it's a cruise. Okay.
Mhm.
So
Exactly.
mm,
So
Go ahead, Tom.
destination wise, what's your favorite port of call so far?
ooh, that's a good question.
We keep saying that we really loved Mykonos when we went there, even though we did it with kids. And I think it's also because we see the potential of Mykonos without kids too. Because if you could party with your kids, like my kids were on top of the tables dancing at a day party in Mykonos, imagine if we were without our kids.
Yeah.
So Mykonos is such a party town. I really like the vibes in Mykonos.
If you could pick something in the Caribbean though, that's like
I was gonna say, if you could pick something for us common people.
Okay. Caribbean. I really like St. Martin a lot. I like St. Thomas. I think my favorite has to be Aruba, though. At the end of the day,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, we got the
Aruba.
perfect guy for you in Aruba.
Yes.
Yeah, Aruba and I really like Curacao as well.
Yeah.
Aruba and
Mhm.
Curacao has to be like my favorite ports. But if we weren't doing Southern Caribbean, I would say Mhm. I like the private islands. I really like Half Moon Key on print
yeah.
on
Half Moon Key is
Carnival.
very nice. Yeah,
It's a very nice private island. Besides, obviously, Coco Key, which is Coco Cay, excuse me, Coco Cay, which is nice. I really like Half Moon Key. It's really nice.
I'm right there with you. I love a beach day.
Mhm.
That is my whole thing. Give me a drink, give me a place in the sand,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm the happiest Trevor you'll ever find.
Yeah,
So
exactly. I like going to the Bahamas. And people that cruise a lot, they talk so bad about Nassau, and I feel like Nassau is so much things you can do there. I feel like people don't give it a fair chance. There's
There's
so
not really-
many things.
What other island can you get that much variety in your excursions? What
Yeah.
other island are you getting off, and they'll take you to all these other islands as your excursion?
Right.
You don't really get that
You're
in a
not
lot
you're
of
not
places.
like stuck right there. And if you want, we've gone to Nassau where we just stayed in a cruise port and enjoyed because the new cruise port, I don't know if you guys have been to the new cruise port yet. It's so nice. They have so much food and
drinks, music.
You technically
Mhm.
don't really have to leave that area if you don't want to go to the beach. If you just
Mhm.
want to get off and just get something to eat, we've done that before too. But I feel like Nassau has so much to offer, and people are like always shutting it down like it's such a bad place to be. Like it's really not. It's so much to offer. There's no way that you could be bored. So I encourage all the listeners when the ship stops in Nassau and the cruise director, like they did on Royal Caribbean, one of the ships I've been on, the cruise director tried to discourage people from getting off the ship in Nassau. And I encourage you, as someone that is Black American, I'm not of a Caribbean descent, get off the ship and explore Nassau. It really is a lot to do there.
There is. There's tons. And I mean, 116 episodes ago, that's what I said. I mean, you can go back, you can listen to all the episodes, but I am a huge proponent of Nassau. I mean,
Mm.
Nassau is not
Absolutely.
my favorite port, but I'm going to tell you right now, okay? You said Half Moon, Amber Cove, all of that. If I see a cruise that has one of those kind of ports on it, I'm going to scroll through. But if I
Mhm.
see if I see a cruise that has Nassau on it, I'm going to be like, okay, that's doable. So I'm
Right.
not I'm not a Half Moon. I'm not a Half Moon Key guy. I'm not a Amber Cove. I'm not those private islands.
Oh, you don't like
I
the
want
private
that.
islands. Okay.
Yeah,
You
I
like to
got to
get
have
out and
something.
explore.
I got to have something to do. Yeah, you don't want to
Yeah.
see this, but y'all see me in person. You don't want to see this laying on the beach shirtless. I mean, come on. So, but yeah, no, for real. So, Jen, do you have anything for Rich and Jazz?
Yeah, I'm curious about, are there specific ports that you really like for the girls?
Oh, port.
Because Jen actually has children, so that's yeah. So she's
Just one. But
Yes.
yeah.
Besides like a private island where we're enclosed.
Yeah.
Besides a private island, what port do I
So
like to
that's
take
where,
the
again,
girls?
Nassau is where it's at because you can do multiple beach parks, water parks. There's so much excursions to do with kids. The pirate excursion there is really good for kids. There's just a lot of options to book things. You can do swim with the pigs. Most options is going to be Nassau for kids.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any other ports that we did something that was really nice for the children besides Aruba beaches is very nice as well. And we went over to, like, you can also book the Flamingo Island and go over there
Mhm.
and take the kids to go see the flamingos and stuff like that. But I do feel like as far as culture and doing things and amount of things to do, it would have to be Nassau.
Mhm.
It would. I'm trying to think of any other stop else besides just going to, because every other stop is just like, okay, we're going to the beach and we
It's
get back on the
beach,
ship.
beach, beach, yeah. Or
Beach,
island tour.
or an island tour. I'm trying to think of any other ports have we been to that was really like, oh, I would say Jamaica.
Jamaica's got a lot of excursions
Jamaica does
to
have a
offer
lot
too.
of
That's true.
excursions to offer.
so Ocho Rios, I would imagine in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you definitely want to do them when you're on the Ocho Rio side because if not, you will be traveling a lot through Jamaica.
Mhm.
Sometimes people forget that.
They have a lot of culture, obviously, in Jamaica, and a lot of things to do besides going to the beach.
So bringing up Rain and Royce, I saw an Instagram story you did the other day, and the number of cruises they have been on. Do you mind giving the age of Rain and Royce and then the number of cruises?
Yeah, so Rain and Royce just turned 7, so they're 7 and 8 years old, and they just completed their
25th and
25th and
cruise.
26th cruise. Yes.
Oh
Wow.
Yes.
And then when we made a video about it, a lot of the comments are, well, according to my math, you're lying.
Yeah, like, or do they ever go to school? I'm like, okay, guys, if you do the math, that's like 3 to 4 cruises a year. Which, okay, granted, if I wasn't into this YouTube space and doing this as a business and content creating, that's a lot. 3 to 4 cruises. I would be your everyday working person can't afford to do 3 to 4 cruises a year. So even if we did 1 cruise a year, that was a blessing for us when we first started. That was like, wow, we went on a cruise this year. That's really nice. But because we do this for a business, because we do this as content creators, we are blessed to be able to do at least 3 to 4. Now, last year we did how many with them?
11.
Oh,
With them was probably
8.
7 or 8.
So a lot of their cruises we doubled up on over the past 2 years.
Yep.
On.
And you say, I mean, you didn't mention one of your other kind of like side gigs you have as well. You're also travel agents.
Oh, yes, we are. We
Yeah.
are travel agents. We book people on cruises. We actually just showed on our stories. I don't know if you've seen it yet today. We are top 150 agents in our travel agency, Outside Agents. It's like 10,000 people, and we're top 150.
Nice.
So we also are
Congrats.
top 30 travel agents for Virgin Voyages
In the US.
In the US. So we're top 30 with them. So I think our credentials speak for themselves. We definitely book people on cruise, and we only book cruises. We don't do some people do ask me to book their like all inclusive and stuff, but I like to stick to the lakes and rivers that I know And I'm not going to recommend a resort
Don't
that
go
I've
chasing
never
no
been
waterfalls.
to.
That what you
Right.
said?
Because then you gonna be like, well, Jasmine, you told me to stay at this resort and the food was terrible and this and that. And I'm like, I never even been there. I just went off of what I saw
No,
online.
you told me that's what you want.
But I feel like honesty is the best policy with me. I literally tell my clients exactly. Most of these ships I've been on, I'm not going to tell them wrong. So I really try to steer people in the direction that I would want to be steered in if I was going through a travel agent. Because let's be real, nowadays people can book their own travel, right?
Mhm.
So what
Yeah.
makes me different than them going online and booking it themselves? I gotta be reliable. I gotta be honest. I gotta do something that is going to make them want to come back. And I'm very grateful for all our clients that come back to us over and over and time again for our advice. We also hook our clients up with Melanin merch so they can go on their ship and represent. And even if you are not of a person of Melanin, we hook you up. Okay. So we definitely,
I will
just
say
really
I've had
want
to
our
pay
clients-
for all my stuff, but it's
Yes,
okay.
yeah. You never booked a cruise to us.
I know.
It's okay. Listen,
We had, we had that Jubilee hooked up, but it didn't.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
You did have the Jubilee booked with us, and then Carnival did us dirty. I'll never forgive Carnival for that.
Yeah.
We were loading up the bookings, man. We
Yeah,
were gonna
sold
be
that ship out.
we were gonna be pushing some
Yep.
big numbers on that one.
And then
So-
they said, we're not coming. Nope.
Yeah,
we're
and
pushing
so
it back.
I do want to touch on that. You did mention that, and so just for my own personal note, and we can cut it or not, it don't matter. But what has been your largest Melanin at sea cruise?
So our largest was on Carnival. It was the Carnival Venezia out of New York. Now, part of the reason we think that one also did really well, we had 300 people on board on that one. It was really, really epic, is because we've got such a big base in New York. When we look at our analytics, our number 1 and 3 is actually not 1, 2, or 3 is not Florida, believe it or not, even though so much people follow us for cruising. Our number 1 biggest demographic is New York. Number 2 is Texas, and number 3 is Georgia.
Yeah.
And then it's Florida. So people think like because you do cruising, everyone in Florida watches. Our biggest base is in New York. So when we did that one on Venezia, we were able to really do a nice number. So 300 people on the Venezia was really, really cool.
Shout out to all our New Yorkers. Okay, we always gonna rep our city. Stand on New York in the house.
And that's the way to do it. Yeah, that's the way to do it. I posted.
Yes.
I went through Brooklyn a few weeks ago.
You want
and,
to MSC Maravilla?
No, I was with work. I was headed to
Oh,
Maine.
you went through
Okay.
Brooklyn. Okay.
Yeah, I had to go through Brooklyn, and I was like, okay, this is what it's about. This is where it's at. So yeah, it was
Yeah.
just I can't remember what I took the turnpike and then got off on a little road and had to go up through some town, it was all like, I don't think it was actually like the true quote unquote Brooklyn, like,
Yeah. But
we'll
Brooklyn
go,
is crazy because you drive through.
KRS-One and stuff like that. It wasn't his vibe.
Okay.
You know what? Brooklyn has changed so much.
Yeah.
though.
The
has
old neighborhoods are
changed.
not the same.
It's not the same.
That's
What you
what-
see
yeah,
on
that's what-
TV is not what it's like now in 2024.
Okay, well that makes sense then. So I should
Yes, it has changed. Even when I go, I'm like, hold on, because
Even we're shocked.
this used to be where the mall used to be, and I used to go over there and buy color contacts, and no, all that stuff is not there anymore. It's gone.
Right, yeah. So okay, so it makes it a little bit then definitely if people should know that I was lying then, because we used to do a thing called 2 Truths and a Lie. And my lie that night was I had to go through there and I had to stop at a red light, and all of a sudden I heard pow pow pow, and I look over and there's a car leaving riding real fast, just that typical drive-by kind of scenario. But yeah, so and everybody thought that Trevor was lying that day and he was telling the truth. But
They thought he would tell the truth. It was
but
wild.
anyways,
I do have one more question, and this is an argument that will
Oh.
that tears our guests apart.
Okay.
We're ready.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No. A hot
Wow,
dog is
that
not
was
a sandwich.
fast.
When you're from New York and you go to the corner store and you ask for a sandwich, you ask for a hero. A hot dog is not on the menu. You go to a cart on the city street and you can get a hot dog. It is not labeled as a sandwich. It's just labeled as a hot dog. You cannot pick up a sandwich from the cart man in Times Square. You can only get a hot dog. So
really?
therefore, it is
Oh.
not a sandwich.
That is a
So-
no nonsense
Love it.
answer right there.
Wow, that was the most New York thing I've heard. all day.
It was a complete New York explanation.
You cannot go to the corner store like, yo, let me get a hot dog. Then we're like, what?
True. Rich, is it a hot dog or is it a sandwich? What do you
I
think?
cannot argue with what she just said. So
She might
It'll be a long night
I'm
for
not
me if
gonna
I do.
lie. I'm on. When we started
Wait,
this,
so
I was
who here thinks it's a sandwich?
The definition
Oh,
of
you're all by
sandwich-
yourself. And I would like to know
definition of a
why you think it's a
sandwich-
sandwich.
The definition of a sandwich is bread, a protein, and maybe some condiments,
Okay.
which is a hot dog: bread, protein, condiment.
That's crazy because you're look, going back to growing up in New York, you would go get like a sausage and peppers on a roll. That's not that's not considered a sandwich.
So how do you order your hot dogs? Do you ever use the term sandwich
Yeah, let me
when you order these hot dogs? Ever in your life?
I say it's a hot dog. I mean, I'll order a hot dog
Because
but it's a you don't call a hamburger a sandwich, but it is a sandwich.
He goes to Subway and he's like, "Where's the hot dogs?"
Right. Can you go to Jimmy John's and get a hot dog? Can you?
no sandwich
Subway?
place sells hot
Can you
dogs.
go to
I beg
Publix?
to differ. I beg to
Who?
differ. If you come to Oklahoma, there's a place.
Oh,
in
that
Oklahoma
doesn't
called-
count.
called Bill and
Oklahoma,
Ruth's
who's
Pub.
going there?
Is
Hey,
that
I
where you
live
live,
here.
Oklahoma?
Oh,
Oh, okay.
There's this place
Wow.
called Bill and Ruth's. It's a small sub chain that has hot dogs as well. They have hot dogs and potatoes and stuff like that, but they
Only in
have
Oklahoma.
sub sandwiches too.
it probably says sandwiches and hot dogs, right?
Nope. It's Bill and
That's
Ruth's
like
Pub.
that's like the pizzerias out here that call themselves New York City pizzerias. When you go inside, it tastes nothing like New York City pizza.
We do a segment for the last, I think it's probably
Let me just blow my nose once again.
112 episodes actually, where we decide if somebody should be arrested and or walk the plank. This
Oh,
usually goes along with anybody that posts anything ridiculous in Facebook groups. That's where we get
okay.
our material. So let me begin this out.
In the vast ocean of cruising adventures, the mishaps and mysteries on deck are considered particularly perplexing. On board the Carnival Cruises, the dedicated trio known as the Golden Boys dive into the most baffling cruise conundrums, from lost luggage legends to the buffet line breaches. They're on the case. These are their stories. Bum bum.
All right. So
What just happened? I just went to blow my nose. What changed?
Your face was like, oh my god,
I'm like,
what's
what?
going on?
Okay.
this is the randomness that's typically on our show. So I've got a face. So we're going to decide should this person either be arrested or walk the plank or allowed to cruise. We'll see. So this person posted in Carnival Cruise Tips of all places. It says, "Hi, I'm a solo traveler, really large male, about as wide as the cabin door. I was wondering if I tip the room steward extra cash, will they come into the bathroom and help me wipe? The bathroom is really small and I can't really reach back there. Any advice?"
Oh, you really want me to give advice?
I think we're gonna have to.
He wanted advice.
We're
My
gonna have to find an
advice.
accessible cabin,
Exactly. He needs an accessible cabin.
you know, and he's probably gonna have to take someone on with him for assistance if that's what
Yeah,
he
right.
requires.
Who's helping you clean at home?
Because it won't be the room steward, because that's
won't
not
be
in
the
their
room
job
steward.
description.
Nope.
Right. This ain't no home attendant. What? What? They're just to attend to your stateroom, not attend to your body. People are taking these trips a little bit too far, sir.
Cruise health aid.
Right.
Yeah,
Cruise health aid.
My man need to bring his mama.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm gonna need for him to book an accessible cabin though, because those accessible cabins, I have stayed in accessible cabins just because like that's the room they given me, and they are mighty spacious, nice big bathroom, plenty of room for someone that is plus size, extra plus size to fit.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm along the same lines. There's things that you can ask your room steward for to see, maybe a fan, maybe, they might have one stashed away somewhere. That might be a little too far.
Mm.
Wiping is
I-
definitely not
No.
one of those things to ask.
No.
It's,
Right.
I'm going to
It's-
go
it's-
with what one of the comments was use the shower bidet.
Oh yeah.
use the shower as a bidet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Take that handheld wand, travel
Put
with a big brush
Oh.
that extends on a pole. Okay. You gotta do
Yes.
something.
Oh.
But yeah, so well, guys, thanks so much. That's
Thank
some of our
you.
little show humor. Thanks for participating with it. And like I say, we really enjoyed having you guys, and
Thank you guys
Have
for
a
having us.
Yeah, thank you.
fun
This was
time
different.
cruising.
Thanks for coming on.
It was different. Yeah, it's definitely
Yes.
different.
Yes, thank
That's
you
what we try to
guys.
do.
We look
But-
forward to watching this and listening to it back. Thank you for having us on. We wish you guys all the success with your podcast. And
Well,
yeah.
and if our listeners want to know more, see more, where would they go?
Oh, that's nice of you guys. If you want to see more of us, if you want to hear more about our lives and all that jazz, you can follow us on Instagram at A Rich and Jazzy Life, Facebook, A Rich and Jazzy Life, YouTube, A Rich and Jazzy Life, TikTok, A Rich and Jazzy Life. Or you can, if you wanted to email us about travel, email us at a rich and jazzy family at gmail.com. Again, it's rich and jazzy family at gmail.com. That's where we do all of our business situations. And if you would like to join our Facebook group, it's called Melanin at Sea. Excuse me, Melanin at Sea. It is a Facebook group. So you can join that Facebook group as well if you like to cruise and like to talk about cruising.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's
Thank
a
you
lot
so
of
much.
Rich and Jazzy at life.
They
Yes.
have a brand. They have a brand.
Absolutely.
And that's it. That's where it's about. And that's where you guys are. So it's a pleasure having you again. Thanks for being a part of my life and being some of my friends. And maybe
Yes.
we'll cruise again sometime.
Yes,
I'm sure
definitely.
we will, Gary. Have a fantastic cruise in the next cuatro dias. And,
Right.
and I'm sure we'll talk soon. Thank you so much, guys. It was nice
Thank
meeting
you.
everyone.
Nice meeting
Night,
you.
guys.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Good night. Bye.
Night.
Good night.
I keep freezing about every
Yeah.
minute.
You keep
so
going to X and then like you go up and then it goes back to X. I don't know.
yeah, I'm not sure what's going on my.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
There.
She just
We know.
now she's at X big time now.
Yeah.
So she
This
just really
this will
there
be
you
in the
go. You're back.
episode. So
There you go.
She's muted now.
back. She's back now. She's back.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
she's
she's
back.
muted. She's muted.
Oh,
I don't know.
I muted
there
because
she
I
is.
was
Now she-
worried it was causing like an.
Oh, got
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Uh-huh. We know.
I'm No, I'm good with
Oh.
whatever.
Okay, good.
Hold on.
So
All right, let's see if she freezes again while we got her in the big screen.
Yeah, put on the big one. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Oh, that's too funny. I love it.
Oh, that's a perfect outtakes right there.